Greetings, I'm Alan Ross, and today I'm going to talk in this little video about scanning a print. I get people sending me photographs that don't have scanners, and they take a picture of a photograph with their iPhone or something else, or a copy camera. But if you have a scanner, it's pretty easy to do. So let's get going here. So what I'm going to talk about are procedures that are basics for scanning with an Epson 700 or 800 series scanner. And these basics should be able to apply in principle to other scanning equipment. You'll just have to pay attention to setting histogram settings and so on the particular equipment you're working with. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about doing an 11 by 14 print. Scanning an 8 by 10 print on a scanner like this is pretty simple. But even with an 8 by 10 print, you need to pay attention to some certain scanner settings. So an 11 by 14 print is clearly too big for these scanners. So you're going to need to do it in 2 passes. So what we've got here is we've got the 11 by 14 print. We have a little box or a book to weigh it down and a weight to give it some extra impact to hold the print flat. So in this case, I've got an 8.5 by 11 box, and it sits on top of the print, and I've weighed it down. And then you can leave the scanner lid open on these things. And so you click preview, and what you do in order to, once you've clicked the preview, it'll come up with half the image like this. And you set your scan area for a little extra room, top and bottom, and full width side to side. And so you have settings for photo mode rather than document mode. And I figure 8 bits grayscale is plenty good enough. 300 DPI or whatever suits you will be fine. And so then what you do is you need to take a look at the exposure for the print. And so you click advanced settings on the issue, on the software. Detailed adjustments comes up. And in those, you want to select histogram adjustment. And it usually comes up right in the middle of the frame of the window here, which is kind of silly because it's in the way. But usually the scanner will cut into the blacks and the whites. And when we scan a print or a negative, we want to scan everything. We want to see everything that's on the image. So what we'll do next is we'll go to that histogram and we'll move the sliders on the black farther to the left beyond the edge of the histogram, and we'll move the highlight scan slider all the way to the right. And that makes even the paper white less than white, but we can fix these tonalities to suit us after we're done with the scans in assembly. And oftentimes it's helpful to move the midtone slider a little bit to the left to open up darker midtones in here. So with this done, we're ready to scan. So we'll click the scan button, and you give it the image a title. So and I save it to the desktop. So you click scan, and and that records it. So the next thing you do is we need to move the print over to scan the other side, but we don't do a preview, and we don't change the histogram settings because we want the exposure on the second scan to be exactly the same quality as the first scan. So we just move the print over, weigh it down, and click scan. And so those wind up for me on my desktop. And so next I'm going to go to Photoshop, and I'll open Photoshop, and in the file menu, you come down to automate, and automate has a photo merge. This is really helpful if you want to create panoramas or whatever, but you click photo merge and this window opens up, and you haven't selected anything. So click browse. That'll take you over to the desktop or whatever place you've told the files to go. So in this case, I click browse, and I see things that are on my desktop here. I'm going to select these 2 scans, and I click open, and then that comes up back to the photo merge window. and you see the two scans here and click OK. Then Photoshop thinks for a minute and spins around and merges those two scans perfectly. It's really amazing. So there's no lining up that you have to do. And it gives each scan its own layer here. And so what I do then is I flatten the image, and then I go over to, now I've just got cropping. I crop out all the extraneous scan. In this case, I have a white margin, so I crop that out. If I had a larger image and I wanted to crop out part of the image, then that's fine too. You just do what's necessary. So you move your crop lines into the image and click OK. And then the next step is tweaking tonality in it. And so you can use this. You have all the controls that you usually have in Photoshop. And what you do is, first I'll do an adjustment layer for levels, and I'll bring it into where the blacks are just starting to, just haven't quite come in, and the whites are just right on the edge. And in this particular case, the midtones were okay, but I wanted to lighten up the shadow, the mid shadows a little bit, and darken the mid highlights. So I did an adjustment layer for curves. And you can dodge and burn and do whatever you want at this stage. And then the next thing is you go look at your image and you're done. And that's all there is to it. So hope this helps, and have fun scanning your prints. And it's a wonderful way to get larger prints into files that you can post online, that you can do whatever with. So anyway, hope this helped.